Welcome, agents, to strain 26-10C of the 0 Point Report, a broadcast all about the news surrounding the Secret World IP. Today is Thursday, August 20th, 2020, and I'm your host for this evening, Ocho. With me tonight, we have Ember.
Hello.
And we have Jimmy the Rabbit.
Heyo.
Hey, guys. How are you guys doing this fine evening?
Cheers.
Nice.
Surviving allergies.
Okay. All right. Yeah, today is actually Baby Ocho's third birthday. He was born on this day 3 years ago. So we've tried celebrating with him, but he has just not been happy all day long.
Oh, not having it. Happy birthday to him.
He's really starting to feel his oats. He's really starting to we're like, okay, no, you need to we're starting to potty train him specifically, and but every time we're like, all right, you need to go to the potty. He's like, no. So it's just been good times. It's been good times, is what it's been.
Yeah, it's gonna feel like it's gonna last forever too.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it starts. But that's pretty much what you sign up for, right?
Yep.
Part of the whole part and parcel. Well, welcome to the show. We're here to bring you all the news from Secret World, all the Secret World news that we can find, and we have a couple of things to talk to you tonight about. Not giant news, I would say, but a couple of actually news that's in like the real world, news that actually was like national headlines kind of news, which is weird.
Is the Secret World bleeding out into the real world, or is it vice versa?
Art imitating life, imitating art, or something.
Something. Yeah.
Whatever that saying is. I guess number one thing we have to talk about tonight. What we got? We have that. We have the national news with Tencent and the White House dictative.
What? No, I don't think it's.
I don't know.
Diction.
No, I don't think it's that either.
Diction, I can tell you that.
I can't think of the word. That's all right. We have to talk about Jimmy's new show that you started with Malov, and we also have
at least for now.
At least for now, okay. And then we also have beta news. We have beta news to talk about as well.
Yes, sir.
Good times. So the first thing, this news came out August 6th. Following through with previously expressed privacy concerns, United States President Donald Trump has signed 2 executive orders that would ban Americans from completing transactions with Chinese conglomerate Tencent and Chinese company ByteDance. So while the executive orders were signed with Tencent's messaging app WeChat and ByteDance's social video app TikTok in mind, the unspecified bans, once they are defined, could potentially have far-reaching implications for the video game industry. Tencent either fully owns or holds stakes in multiple high-profile video game developers and publishers, and now this includes Secret World and Funcom. So it was followed up on not too long after by tech reporter Sam Dean of the LA Times, saying that the White House has clarified to the outlet that the executive order currently only targets transactions related to Tencent's WeChat messaging app. It says, but despite this clarification on the executive order's intent, what the ban actually affects will continue to be defined over the next 45 days from August 6th. So what do we say? That's going to be September 20th?
About, yeah.
45 days from August 6th.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you guys think of this? First and foremost,
I mean, I don't think they intend to do anything with the video game shit, mostly because it would just piss off too many people.
This is very much so true. Yeah.
Like it's one thing to mess with to mess with TikTok, which honestly, I think the general consensus is the whole reason that's happening is nothing to do with any real reason and everything to do with how much the rally got trolled by TikTok.
Oh yeah.
That's the big thing.
That's been a pretty fair, I would say, assessment of the situation.
I agree.
But the amount of people that you would piss off by just shutting down anything to do with Tencent, which also includes like Fortnite, things like that, right?
I'll say the list here is that they have in addition to full ownership of League of Legends and Valorant, developer Riot Games, and Mutant Year Zero and Conan Exiles publisher Funcom, Tencent holds major stakes in Path of Exile, developer Grinding Gear Games, Clash of Clans and Clash Royale developer Supercell, and a 40% stake in Fortnite and Unreal Engine developer, I said that, Epic Games. The conglomerate also holds significantly smaller stakes in Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, Frontier Developments, Paradox Interactive, Jaeger Development, Frontier Developments, and Netmarble, as well as capital investment in Platinum Games.
You know all that shit you're playing during the coronavirus where you're locked inside? Goodbye.
Yeah, that's like
true.
Tencent, and that's why overall when it's like when they were like Funcom is going to be bought up by Tencent, I wasn't necessarily too worried about that. Changes will take place, obviously, but they have such a large portfolio of video game companies that it's like, okay, it's not like Riot Games really went anywhere. It's not like they, completely chopped them up into nothing and did absolutely nothing with them. It's pretty much they're going to be the ownership of Funcom, but simultaneously, it never felt like they did anything too significantly bad with their holdings. That they really want their holdings to succeed.
To clarify, to Tuesday, Funcom's already purchased by Tencent.
Yes, that went through. Last time I checked, it was like 99.7% or 99.6%.
Yeah, so Funcom is wholly under Tencent, but we've seen it before. Tencent doesn't really control the game companies. Look at Riot. Riot does their own stuff. It's just that yes, they send stuff up to the people up above in Tencent.
I'm sure that they still have to get full approval of what they do.
Yeah.
That they still have to get whatever, because now that they're now Funcom and Riot Games are subsidiaries of Tencent.
They're not beholden under Tencent's rule. You have to do this or else.
Right. It's more like Tencent almost feels like a guiding hand almost. They're the ones who bought it. They're the ones who are going to be making most of the money from what comes out of it.
Yeah, they're not like EA.
Yeah.
yeah. Historically, I was reading something actually before when it was just in talks, right? I was reading something, and it was talking about other acquisitions they've made and how that's been dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the name of the one in particular, but they had there was a company that was under hostile takeover. There was a gaming company being under a hostile takeover attempt, and they stepped in and just bought it to prevent the hostile takeover. And then we're do what you do because we like what you do, and they didn't want the other company who was just taking it over essentially to
get rid of it, basically.
Them. Yeah. They were no. They came in, they bought them to stop the hostile takeover, and then we're do what you do. And that was it. So while I see a lot of tinfoil hat shit about Tencent, when you look at what they've done and what their stakes are in, it seems for the most part, they just invest in shit they think is good and then let people do their job, because also they have their own studios.
They have their own studios, yeah.
Yeah, they're we have our own shit. We just want you guys to be set up to do your shit well. We want to make money off of it.
Yeah. They already they started out as a game company.
Yeah, a lot of their games that are mostly in the Asian markets. Of course, China being a big part of it.
Yeah, but let's not be fooled. Those are humongous markets. Those are ginormous markets.
Yeah, billions of potential customers.
So no, I kind of felt that along the same lines when they were like
English only mobile app, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You have phones, don't you?
Oh,
snap! Everyone's got phones.
Doesn't mean I want to fucking play on it. Okay.
Is this an early April Fool's joke?
Everyone's got a phone. Be like, yeah, but phone gaming is like what I do on the toilet. Let's be honest.
I scroll Reddit on the toilet.
Yeah, like it's not something that I go to and I take to any serious effect. But so we don't think that this actually will have really anything to do with any of Tencent's gaming holdings.
The only real concern is that while they've said that's not their intent, the letter of the thing drafted is not what's the word? It's not written specifically to target a thing. It says essentially that they can, quote, the important word, can block stuff that has any connection, which would include all the video game stuff, right?
It's very vague. It's vague.
Yeah, it gives them a lot of leeway. Now they've said that's not what we're going to do. That's not our intent. The problem is the way they wrote it is to give them all the options they could ever want.
Yeah.
Right. That's the issue.
Well, look at what's going on with Apple and then Epic Games, especially with their game engine.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Do you think they want to go the Apple route and piss off all their developers that develop games using the Unreal Engine? Says, well, you can't use it anymore. Well, my game, I can't update my game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole mess.
Yeah. That's just two big companies.
To which I say, good for Epic, because if I have to pick between the douche and the turd sandwich, I'm picking Epic.
It's true.
Yeah,
as someone that has to develop for Apple, like iOS, like App Store, like holy shit, yes, I vote for Epic.
No, I haven't done too much research on that, but yeah, from what I saw, it was basically like how that started was that Epic was like, we're gonna change something to our game so that you could just pay us directly. And both Apple and Google were like, no, those are against our terms of service. And so Apple kicked them off the store. And then immediately Epic turned around. They had already produced a video. They had already produced stuff like that was like from what that looked like.
I would say the other way around. They had the lawsuit ready. They produced the movie, and then they made the change because they knew it would trigger Apple. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's an important thing to do. Like, I do think it's an important step to take, and they're being like super dramatic about it and whatever. But if it gets public opinion on their side, and that's enough to pressure Apple, like that's worth it.
But it even necessarily wasn't necessarily like, I don't even know I mean, public opinion would be really good for them, but simultaneously they immediately turned around and slapped them with an anti-monopoly lawsuit, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you cut up monopolies, is you have to do the lawsuit first.
Well, that's been brewing over in the EU, is because this is another part that Epic is trying to get pushed through, because the EU is bringing anti-monopoly lawsuit against Apple throughout the EU. So Epic's like, let's go ahead, let's stir this pot a little bit more.
So I thought but they had everything ready to go. Like my first thought when that happened was like, you remember the game Yu-Gi-Oh?
I know of it. Sure.
It was a trading card game, and it had a TV show attached to it. But one of the big things was, I'm gonna set out like this monster card, and then I'm gonna set out a trap card. And the trap was basically, if you attacked, then it activated the trap card. And it was like, that's exactly what that was a trap card.
Oh, right, it was a trap card. I get you.
Like It was like, we're just going to set this out so people can pay us directly, and we're going to put our trap card face down.
But the weird thing is that Apple going ahead and just saying, okay, you want to do this? We'll totally get rid of your developer account.
Oh, yeah. Get rid of their developer account entirely.
Get rid of the
like,
game, Fortnite, but you're going after the developer account? Well, you know how much... Big thing, this is not good in Apple's eyes or public opinion, because you got how many kids play Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
And how many other kids are playing other Unreal Engine style games.
This is basically Epic saying, going all in. They're saying we're going all in with this. Yeah. And I think that I haven't seen any real speculation on this. I haven't read anything about this. But from what I think is going to happen, and... like, they wouldn't be going through all this. They wouldn't have gone all in against Apple unless they thought that they could win an anti-monopoly lawsuit. And that anti-monopoly lawsuit will basically force Apple to have other stores be able to go on their phones, right?
Well, if not other stores, at least other ways of paying. Remember, Netflix had the same issue with them years ago. And they basically told Apple, like, fuck off, because Apple was like, oh, we need to take a cut of everyone that signs up for Netflix.
Oh,
Netflix was like, no.
Yeah, no, you don't.
30%.
Now, I think that since then, is Netflix on Apple now? But they have like their own special deal or something like that.
They probably have their own deal, yeah.
If I recall correctly,
because too many people were like, Apple's like, we can't not have Netflix, right?
Right. I think that might be what happened.
I think you're also it's the same thing with Amazon Prime Video. It's the same thing as well, because Amazon took off all Apple products off the Amazon store.
Mm-hmm.
So here again, so it was like a year later, all of a sudden you see iPads and MacBooks back on, and Amazon Prime Video, you can download it to your iOS device again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, there initially has to be that conflict first before they're like, okay.
There has to be that slap on the wrist that we're like, they go, okay, let's renegotiate. Now, here's what I think is important in this, and I know this is not really like secret related, but it is interesting in the gaming sphere in general.
In the gaming sphere, yeah.
Right? Like, it just is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
What's really important for like other developers is that Apple doesn't the Epic doesn't just bitch out and do like and cut a deal like Netflix did. Right? What's important is that Epic actually stands up and has the shit change.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they just get a better deal for themselves, that doesn't help any other developer.
Right.
Right? But what is super hopeful about this for other developers is that if Epic can cause them to have to change their actual policies, that's good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? That's good for every developer that has to go through Apple's fucking bullshit and deal with the fact they want their goddamn blood money. Like, and it is such, by the way, it is, I can't, like, even trying to have a free app is so frustrating. Like, I work for a company where we provide a service to transportation industry people. And we have a free app for that service, right? The service is way more than the app, but the app is like it offers additional features, and it's free.
Right.
But because of how Apple is set up, like, it took so many attempts to get that fucking app approved because it's a free goddamn app. But because it's a service that people can sign up for, like, Apple wanted like a cut for that. Or like,
all
no,
the money. Yeah.
That's not happening. It has nothing to do with you. The service works without you. It's just the app is a nice, like, added thing for these guys, right?
Yeah. And they're like, well, what's in it for us? And it's like, come on now.
So any way to sign up for the service had to be removed completely from the app. And in fact, like, we couldn't even link to like as the developers, like, our own site, because like 5 links removed, you would find their website and a way to sign up. So like they had to have like no mention. Like, we couldn't even have a link to our site because it got kicked back. Like, oh, if I go to that site and then look up this, I get to a sign up page. I'm like, God damn it. Like, seriously? I'm just trying to give a free app to customers. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they want their pound of flesh.
in short, while I actually watched a video on virtual legality on this on YouTube.
Okay.
And while they are kind of, Epic is kind of doing like the whole we're the good guys, Apple's the bad guy thing. And meanwhile, you know, they're clearly doing this for money, and Epic is like $1 billion fucking
Right, yeah.
thing.
Yeah, we're the good guy.
time,
I'd be like, nah, I don't know about that. Let's
At
not,
the
let's not go
same
that
time,
far.
if they can manage to do it, it does benefit all the little guys. If they don't just take a deal, if they actually manage to change the situation, it benefits all the little guys. It is a huge deal. It is a big deal.
Now, I thought in my head, my speculation is that the whole reason why Epic was doing this, and because also same thing with Google. Google's like, you know, we have those things too. We have those regulations too.
Yeah, theirs just aren't as strict.
But they also kicked Fortnite off of their service as well for doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
But Epic's not going after Google. You know, Epic's not going after what, Alphabet or you know. But they're not going after Google. But Android phones already allow you to install any app store you want, basically.
Yeah, see, that's the difference. That is the biggest difference, is that if Google Play says you can't be on here, you don't really care.
Yeah, because you can just say, okay, well, but say Epic wants to, and this is where I thought where they're not really going after Google, because Google already allows other stores. Apple does not allow other stores aside from the Apple App Store. This could be a way for Epic to essentially, because Epic just came out with their, I'm using in quotations there, but Epic has their own Epic Games Store that's basically an alternative to Steam. What if this whole thing is basically their ploy to actually make an Epic App Store for phones?
I mean, maybe.
I'm surprised Steam hasn't done that already.
Like this is where I thought I saw them going with it, is basically like they're, you know, and they want to, if they're going to roll out an app store, they want it available on everything, right?
Right.
And they could just put it out on Google, but I feel like they're playing their hand too quickly.
Right. Okay, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's really their intent.
Yeah.
Or not.
It's speculation.
Yeah,
it's certainly speculation. But that's why I was like, how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet that this, you know, when all this is said and done, that Epic's going to come out with their own app store and put out and basically say, here's Fortnite from our own app store.
Right.
And use Fortnite as basically to get people to install the app store.
I gotta tell you, man, like, I didn't realize how many like legit high-end games they were giving away for free.
Oh, you didn't know?
Not really, no.
Oh no, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. Yeah.
And I have it too.
Every week they've been giving away 2 games, and they're not small games usually.
No, I got Remnant.
Okay.
Oddly enough, by myself. I've had it because I was got in a closed beta for something that was on Epic Game Store. So I had Epic Game Store anyways, right?
Okay.
And I was like, I'll just boot it up and see what's going on in there. And then I saw Remnant from the Ashes for free. And I thought it was like a trial. You know, like Steam does free weekends.
Yeah.
It was like free till like August 20th or whatever. I was like, okay, sure, I'll check it out. I've seen people stream it. And then it's like $39.99 discount, $39.99 price 0. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This is free. Free. Oh, okay.
I think I got into this maybe the second week that they were doing it. I missed the first week when they had Subnautica as that was like their opening game that they were just giving out for free. But they've given out like Borderlands 2, Far Cry 5. I'm just going through what my Grand Theft Auto 5. That was free.
Yeah, that's nuts, man.
Like Metro 2033, the remake, Mutant Year Zero was on at one point.
Mhm.
What is it? We were just saying not too long last that they were going to have Conan Exiles, but then that was pulled.
World War Z, according to Scooter.
Yeah.
Rebel Galaxy,
Scooter,
yeah,
by the
World
way.
War Z. Like, it has been a lot of games.
You got Hitman. I forget which Hitman's coming out next week, I want to say.
Vampire, that didn't come out not too
Wait,
long
what's
ago.
next week?
One of the Hitman games.
I'll have to look for that. I'm a big Hitman game fan.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Origins.
See, I already have all those. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. Troy, Total War Saga was just this past week as well. That was only for like one day for 24 hours, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you got to really be up on that shit. You got to pay more attention then.
Kind of. It's like every Thursday they drop 2 more. So like right now you could go on and get Enter the Gungeon and God's Trigger. I haven't heard of. I know Enter the Gungeon, but and then next week is Hitman and the Shadowrun collection. Oh snap.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wasn't that special?
It's good stuff. But yeah, no, they were gonna have a Conan Exiles at one point, but they took that back.
Oh yeah, that I remember that. It was like a thing. It was like right up before it was supposed to be a thing too, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like not even the day before, maybe like the day of. They were like, nope, we're not doing it.
I remember talking to Andy about that a little bit on Discord or something. Not that I have any details, I just remember it like coming up and he was like, yeah, that sucks. Like,
yeah,
because they were supposed to have it.
Yeah, I don't know what went on behind the scenes there, because that's actually the first game that I think that they've taken off, or that they were like, oh, we're gonna have, and then just didn't have it. So I don't know
what happened there. That's
I don't know
weird.
what went on there at all. But they have had Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden. That's been one of their free games at one point.
Yeah, that's weird.
But no, I do
because,
highly
like,
suggest it.
Because isn't like Conan, of the two of them, Conan Exiles is like an Unreal Engine game, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
yeah, they're like, this is our engine.
So while we were doing this, I just did E17 Dark Agartha in challenge mode.
Oh, madman.
Because I hadn't done it yet today.
He's a pushover. That gatekeeper.
I think I had Debris as an environmental challenge like 3-4 platforms in a row. It was really fucking strange. I kept having to double check what it was.
So the next thing that we wanted to talk about, which do you suggest, Jimmy? Because basically these next 2 stories are pretty much focused with you.
Pretty much me.
Yeah, pretty much you.
Okay.
I
would say you want to go with Skull Sessions first.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
So your first you started a YouTube. As far as I know, it's just on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's just on YouTube.
It's a YouTube show that you're calling Skull Sessions, where you're basically talking with another member of the community and about why am I explaining it? How about you?
You're doing all right. So yeah, Skull Sessions is just me grabbing someone that someone that's going to have like some high level knowledge of whatever the topic is.
Okay.
And then going in depth on that topic.
Right.
So like we'll have guests on 0 Point sometimes and talk about some stuff. It's just not quite the same as like a one-on-one sit down for 2 hours about a thing.
Right. And we also try on this show to at least like do more of like a generalized, like for all different types of gamers,
I mean, all different types of gamers are welcome to partake in viewing Skull Sessions.
Of course.
But it is the conversation does take place at like a higher level of the game, like end level of the game, right? And end game like strategies, mechanics.
So for example, your first session was with Malav.
Yes.
And you
Correct.
guys talked about the changes coming with the rebalance.
Right. At that time. It was
Mhm.
after the rebalance weekend.
And then you had a second episode where you were talking about New York Raid E17.
Which is a whole nother animal.
Yes.
We actually I intended for that one to be to try and be a little bit shorter because I thought the first one went a little bit long, and we ended up actually going longer in the second one. Even though the rebalance episode covered the entire rebalance, the actual conversation on just the E17 raid took 20 minutes longer.
Okay.
The raid has a lot going on. It really does. So yeah, that's the gist of it. It's not me, dipping out on 01 Report or anything like that.
No.
It's a separate show with a separate focus. And it also doesn't have a schedule. It's really going to be when something
big happens and you can get
there
someone
to
to talk
about, and or when I can find a guest that I feel like is going to be able to talk about that subject at a really high level. So what's interesting is the first episode when we talked about the rebalance. Oh, hey, that's the second one.
I'll go ahead and post your channel in our chat there.
Oh, you can just do youtube.com/Jimmy the Rabbit.
Oh, I just copied and pasted.
Yeah, my one stripe is going static. Oh, I have a green screen, so that one green stripe is freaking out.
That's why you don't wear green.
No, I don't know. I like wearing green. I like having at least a little green. It messes with things. Or if I have Mountain Dew in a clear green cup, that's the best. So when I drink, it just messes everything up.
Just sort everything else behind it. I'm always curious when someone is actually wearing something green, but then they have a green screen behind them, and I'm like, what color did they use? If not green, what did they do?
Actually, I almost wore a blue shirt, and I was like, I can't, because sometimes the blue shirt triggers the green screen, even though it's green.
Mm.
And it's not always, but the blue shirt will wrinkle up, and then parts of it just disappear, and it's even weirder.
One day Jimmy shows up in a green morph suit.
Yeah,
well, then
right.
you just don't have video at that point.
You just have this scary little floating thing.
It's what's his name? Pay Money Wubby on Twitch. He does the same thing.
You just wear sunglasses and just have your mouth open.
Okay, so kind of funny anecdote. With the whole pandemic over the summer, for my father-in-law, my wife's dad, his birthday, he's in California. My wife used my setup. They did a Zoom thing with her siblings.
Okay.
And then I had this other sheet of green screen material, and she wrapped it around herself like a shawl thing. So she just had her head floating. She literally did that during that birthday Zoom meeting. That was pretty funny.
Whenever I found that whenever I do a Zoom meeting that isn't with my company, that is a Zoom meeting with I don't know, with friends or with I had a reunion. We did a virtual reunion. And I basically was using this sort of setup, the one that you see here, and everyone's like, "What? Why do you sound so good and we all sound like crap? What's going on here?" And literally after every single time we've had one of those, I'll get 3 people instant messaging me "What do you have? What is going on here?"
You're all a decent microphone.
Be I've got a decent microphone, I've got an okay camera, and I think it's the boom mic. I think it's the boom that
yeah, right.
That everyone's that's what makes it professional.
Yeah, I have a Blue Yeti, but I just have it set on the desk.
Yeah,
but I have it set for the spatial one or whatever, like whatever setting. I don't know. I like it because I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm like arm's length from my microphone, and it seems to sound.
Sounds fine. Yeah.
So.
I've got it like cardioid, but so it's like, just picking up like just right here from what's in front of it. But
yeah. Like for instance, if I go make margaritas, you guys hear the blender.
we hear the blender.
Yeah. But that's also why I normally have push to talk. So it's usually less of an issue.
But like people are like, oh, you got this boom mic, and it's like, okay, yeah, but this boom scissor arm was like $8. I mean, this is like this isn't like a pro setup here. This is maybe like 2 feet is attached to like the edge of my desk. It's not like
I had a lamp like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like your old drafting desk lamp, with the the joint.
It's like it's not as sweet as you guys think it is.
Yeah, be like, well, you can lie. It's like, hey, I got the Rode PSA 1 or the Blue Compass.
Anyway. So anyways, yeah. So the first Skull Sessions, which was a complete surprise, apparently. Sorry to everybody.
I tell you put that out, and I got like how many messages? They're like, "What is this? What is this?" I was like, what?" Like, wait, what?
Yeah. So from my perspective, and I've since like talked to Mikey about this, it was literally sort of like a fever dream. It came from like inception in my head to like a thing on YouTube, like produced and done in like 5 days. Like from like me having the idea like in the shower or something to like hitting up Malv and be like, hey, if I wanted to do something like this, would you be interested in that? To like setting up a time, to doing like some like quick art for it. Like it literally was from womb to tomb, like 5 days. And I was like, oh, here we go. Out there. And then it was like, what the shit is this? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a good idea.
I got a couple people out there like they're like, is Jimmy still part of 0 Point Report? Like, is this good? I'm like, I'm gonna talk to Jimmy. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So yeah, it was literally just like a pet project that festered in my head for literally like a day, and then just took wings and came out. And so the first one was about the rebalance, and
right.
Malv and I like going over the rebalance and in really like depth in like, because we talked about the rebalance on 0 Point Report a little bit. But we went over it in much more depth, and much, I don't know, like finer detail about different mechanics and what we thought of them and what was changing or needed to change. And what's really interesting is the beta tomorrow seems to have maybe been affected by that episode.
Okay.
I do know that Nervell watched that episode because he posted a screenshot of what he was doing, and one of his tabs open was Skull Sessions episode 1.
So let's be fair, it's also kind of his job. Or it's certainly someone's job at the company.
I'm not sure it's his job to watch.
Maybe not his specifically.
My crappy video, but
yeah.
But it was cool to know that like he was looking at it. But one of the things we talked about specifically in that video was how Penthouse coming back, awesome, right? The Penthouse Dungeon coming back, but that its nightmare mechanics, like they're freaking awesome. Like they really challenge the group. You kind of need to be on voice. It's really difficult to do like a 5-man random, no Discord voice group into Penthouse.
I heard you talk about this. That you thought that it's maybe like it might be the sort of thing where it's like, let's skip this because it might be a little too hard for like a random group.
Yeah, it's funnily enough, actually, because I mentioned like maybe we did. I was with a group, one of the open beta weekends, where we actually did beat the UDAs on Nightmare without voice because Discord went down. That weekend, like Discord just like took a shit
Okay.
for like an hour or something, like for everyone. Like we were in the UDA, we were in the UDA fight. So we actually cleared the rabbit fight without voice, and we got Discord back after and did the latter two bosses with Discord. But we did the first one, which is arguably the one where you need voice the most. With that, Vollmer says they ran a Pug Nightmare without voice in open beta phase 1. Vollmer, were you in the one with me and Drenith? Because I know we did it. I know we did ours at least. We did at least the bunnies without voice, which is the one you need voice for. You don't really need it as much for the other ones, but the bunny fight in particular requires. There's just a lot going on.
No, it was almost all pugs you'd never met before.
Nice. Now, the other thing is a lot of people. I would say the other thing is there's a fair chance a lot of people did the fight in TSW. I know in our group, at least half, if not like most of the people had done the fight in TSW. That helps, right? Because at least you know, even if you can't communicate, you know what to expect.
I mean, let's be fair here. That mostly the people who are actually going into these betas are probably people who are either heavily invested in Secret World in the first place, or like your standard new player is not going into.
Yeah, I don't think
into the beta.
Your newest of the new is not going to be like, oh, let me try the open beta this weekend. Yeah, you're
right. Yeah,
but to be fair, not everyone. Even in the closed betas, I think not everyone is like a like an end game kind of player.
True.
They want variety in the testing.
That's why it's open.
Well, I'm saying even in the closed, like the closed beta group has kind of a variety of testers as well. But even the open one, yeah, like I think we did have at least one person that hadn't really seen it before, or at least didn't remember the Nightmare from TSW. But there was enough that did, right? That we had an edge. We were able to do it, but it was rough, especially without voice. The biggest one being the bomb that comes. There's a bomb that shows up like randomly and starts floating towards the middle of the room, and if you don't kill it, it kills you all.
Mm-hmm.
And without voice, the one person that sees it can't yell at everyone, "Bomb! Kill the bomb!" Right?
Focus,
so
yeah.
By the time you see it, it might already be like 3/4 of the way to the middle or at the middle and started its detonating cast. So that's probably the most difficult part. Like you could do the rest of it without voice more or less, but that bomb thing is a challenge. But we got past it. But so the point is, Penthouse really tests a group. It really tests a group's coordination. And what we were talking about in the rebalance Skull sessions was the fact that we have dungeons now all the way to E17. We have collapsed tiers, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have 17 tiers for a dungeon queue. We actually have 7 tiers for a dungeon queue. We actually, so funny story. We have higher difficulty, but actually less queues.
But less queues, yeah.
Because it goes up to, there's 10 queues on live right now. There's 7 queues on the beta, even though it goes to E17.
Mm-hmm. Which is in of itself a great thing, actually. Yeah. I love the concept of having less levels after.
Well, and also the fact that like the
you know what I mean.
way that queues work is like, if it says tier 1 to 2. You're getting its difficulty is tier 1, its loot is tier 2. The gear grind is going to be so much different, so much different after the patch. You know, you're going to be able to leapfrog up through those tiers.
Mm-hmm.
But our comment in our video there was Penthouse amazing, E17 dungeons, because yes, they were more difficult. Like, yes, they have what's the word? Like, they have like more damage, like, you know, things have more HP. Like, you do have to do something.
Right.
Like, you don't just coast through it, but it's all the same stuff. And what we were talking about in there was, and Maul even had a thread on the forum on feedback of his ideas for things to do to the dungeons, to say like, hey, they're E17, let's give them something else to do. Let's have some more mechanics in there to make it more interesting. And lo and behold, as you guys will get to see tomorrow, I believe it's, what is it, E14?
Yes. Yeah. Segueing into that nicely. Yes, Nervell put that starting the weekend of August 22nd, which means starting Friday, August 21st, and ending the 24th, is going to be open beta weekend number 3. He posted on the forums. He said, "Hello, everyone. We're going to be running another open beta weekend. As I said, starting Friday, August 21st, and ending the morning of Monday, August 24th. We'll have updated patch notes post as we get closer to the weekend. But in the meantime, a quick tease of what is in store. Dungeons, 3rd tier mechanics, i.e. Nightmare mechanics, now start at Elite 8. And several new mechanics have been added to all Elite dungeons, except the Penthouse, starting at Elite 14. It says, warning, some of these are fairly deadly. You may need to change the way you approach certain bosses. Several of these mechanics interact with purges, and a pass has been done on player purging capabilities. Some abilities have been reduced in effectiveness, while other abilities have been given purges." And then said, let the speculation begin.
Yeah.
So
we made a video. We said it really needs this.
Mm-hmm.
This happened. Coincidence? I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Nervell to already have had the idea in his head.
Right.
But at the same time, it's kind of nice to see something put out there, and then to see a lot of that like come
to see it
true.
have like it may possibly a direct influence.
Yeah,
I mean, but that's a good thing though. That's a good thing though.
That's pretty cool.
That's basically the developers listening directly to their players, you know?
Because even if they wanted to do that, we didn't necessarily expect it right now.
Right. Right.
Like, it was just one of those things where we're like, man, it would be nice, you know. But yeah, so new mechanics all over the place.
All over the place.
Fun. So much fun.
The purging especially seems fascinating to me, because
purging is a big thing. Lots of the new stuff is you're going to need not just a purge for,
mm-hmm.
but purges, plural,
multiple, yeah,
and continuous.
While other abilities have been given purges, so we might see a whole bunch of abilities now that have purges.
Yes,
in them. Yeah.
I can tell you one, for example, Hone for Blade. The Hone ability now can purge in effect. That. Didn't do that before. And speaking of purging from the other way around, something else I believe that's coming in the patch tomorrow, or the open beta tomorrow, is I want to say it's all the first passives that do heals. You know, like all the weapons have an initial passive that usually does some kind of heal.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not purgeable anymore.
So nothing can purge you of that heal.
Right.
Correct. Okay.
This is kind of a big deal. One of the biggest problems with Blade, for example, on like say Tank Commander, was that all of Blade's heals are buffs.
Okay.
And all buffs can be purged. And the Tank Commander purges like every like second and a half or something crazy.
Okay.
So as Blade, you go in and you're like, you hit him, he hits you, you try and heal, and he just purges your heal right off.
Oof. Yeah.
Repeatedly. Like all of your heals, because all of Blade's heals are buffs that can be purged. So now the first one for Blade is Immortal Spirit. That one can't be purged. So he did that. I believe that's across the board, which is a nice change. And as far as the boss mechanics, yeah, lots of stuff is going to need to be purged. I want to say in just about every dungeon, there's going to be stuff that needs purging.
Well, it sounds like they're adding that many purges that they're going to make purging a lot more of a important thing just across the board.
Yeah, and it's okay. So it's something for the DPS to bring. So it's not just on the tank, but this is actually a good thing for DPS because you know how we got those new talismans, right? That proc like a custodian,
yes,
gatekeeper, and fate.
The pet talismans.
The one that procs the custodian, I believe, only procs on an interrupt or a purge.
Okay.
So there's not, in a normal dungeon, there's not a lot of times you proc that damage.
Yeah.
It currently. Because generally the tank interrupts and there's usually not much to purge, if anything. So it kind of just sits there, doesn't ever come out. You don't get the damage buff from that. Now, not only will you be providing utility, as Valmer is saying, you could be helpful and supportive, but actually you can also be greedier.
Okay.
You can do more DPS.
Right. Yeah. You're like, I'm gonna get the interrupt. I'm gonna get the purge, so I can summon the custodian.
So my custodian can go smack you for X amount of damage, and that adds to my overall damage output.
Yes, the luminous ring of the hollow tree. Whenever you purge a beneficial effect from an enemy or interrupt an enemy's ability, summon a custodian to attack the target for X damage. This effect has a 20-second cooldown. Yep.
Yeah. So not only is it like a new thing to interact with, something for groups to play around, again, but it also actually makes that talisman, like, or any talisman that was working off the purge effect,
a lot more viable
than it ever was before.
Nice.
So yeah, that part is really cool. There's also just some. Just to be clear though, it's not just purges. There's other crazy shit.
Oh, I'm sure. That's just the only one that he's teased so far.
Yeah.
But you talked with him directly, and he allowed you to actually say some stuff that is probably coming along.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I pretty much can talk about whatever. Originally, I wasn't going to be able to talk about the crystallized flame change, but he since changed that, and he actually put it on the live Discord as well.
Right. Which basically means, whoever.
Yeah, because like literally, I think as of like 6 o'clock or no, wait, hold on, let me see. As of as of like 7:40, he was like, "No, don't talk about that." And then it's like 7:41. He was like, "You know what? Never mind. It's set. It's ready. Talk about it." And then he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna put it on the live Discord. Just FYI."
He's like, I'm just gonna tell everyone ahead of time. I'm gonna
tease everyone.
Whoever. It's a fun ability though.
Yeah. So Crystallized Flame and Crystallized Blaze is no more.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you thought about this, but you do realize that means no more Crystallized Flame crashes.
was that causing a problem?
Did you know? Were you not aware of that?
No.
Oh, okay. So not only do some people have problems with crystallized flame when they use it, crashing them like consistently,
like the game client. Okay.
People, and a much fewer number, have a problem with anyone using crystallized flame around them, causing them to crash.
Oh no. Okay.
You will see people that start groups and be like, "You can't bring crystallized flame," and the reason is because it crashes them.
Wow.
Okay.
Crystallized flame is
to be some random configuration of hardware or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Like, look, I'll get a crystallized flame crash like once every like 3 months or something. Like, it's super rare, but it does happen.
So yeah, crystallized flame ability right now, it says summons a crystallized manifestation of fire at the targeted point, lasts 10 seconds. Every 2.5 seconds, it will deal X magical damage to the closest enemy within a 5-meter radius.
So the passive ups the damage and adds a slow effect on live currently. The crash occurs when you summon it, your guy kind of rises into the air, and literally the crash is always at the exact same part. Like, right as you rise, the game crashes.
Interesting.
Like that part is frozen. It's like the exact same frame, like every time.
I wonder what caused it.
Actually, I want to say he said, or he had a good idea. It had to do something with some branching logic that was happening there, where it had like an possibility of kind of going off into lava land or something.
Okay.
I remember him saying something about looking into that and being like, this might be the reason. But it's always been they've tried to patch for it before. It's always been really tricky to reproduce, and B, to do anything about. Because if you can't reproduce it consistently, it's really hard to fix.
Yeah.
Bomber said divergent point of the animation.
It's one of the few effects that branches like that. It had 2 points, and one of them is at the frame where the crash occurs.
Yeah. There is more to that, but that's the gist of it. But not going to be a problem anymore because instead you get a flame buddy.
Yes. So now they've changed the entire ability. Yeah, Ember, can you show? Is that possible?
I didn't save it, so let me. Yeah, I'll go ahead and save it real quick.
Okay. Because this was just shared on the Discord, as Jimmy's said earlier today.
Yeah, like literally 8:42 p.m. or something.
Yeah, so not even 2 hours ago. You saw it here first. Breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news!
If you didn't see it on the Discord, then you will have seen it here first.
Right. It's semi-breaking news.
I do have I can say breaking news. Wow, that is.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. It's big. That's okay. We could be over here or over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the new thing. I believe it's supposed to get a new icon as well. It won't have the manifestation icon.
So just hold on here. So just to explain what this says now is that it says that with Living Flame, you summon a metaphysical manifestation of the concept of fire itself, creating a living flame at the targeted location. So it still is in one place. It's not moving around.
No. It moves around.
Oh, it does move around?
Yeah.
But it said Living Flame has, in this case, 13,000 health and will attack your enemies for 163 damage every 1.5 seconds. So that is less damage than what the Crystallized Flame was doing, but more often.
Not with the passive, no. But
the passive does pump it up, yeah.
But Crystallized, the passive was broken. The thing is, and no one else would probably really know this, on the closed beta, he fixed it. He fixed the math because the math was broken on that.
Okay.
He fixed it, and oh my god, the damage went in the toilet.
Oh no. Okay.
Because when it has the correct math, it's not nearly as good.
Oh,
Yeah, the math,
it's too powerful.
yeah, there was a math error there.
Crystallized Blaze was doing the equivalent of 5 crystallized flames. Oof.
Yeah.
But what makes this living flame more interesting is, it says when summoned, the living flame immediately casts Flame Flare.
Right. So he does like an AoE damage effect.
And Flame Flare, yeah, deals 1391 damage in a 5-meter radius, and affected targets are stunned for 3 seconds. And then it says casting this ability while you have a living flame active teleports the living flame to the targeted location and causes it to immediately cast Flame Flare. So it's a reason to cast it every 20 seconds, basically.
Right. Because you can just once you cast that, unless the thing dies, because it has health, unless it dies, it just stays around firing and stuff.
Yeah. And if you activate the passive skill for that is called Synergetic Flames, and it empowers a living flame so that it does more damage per 1.5 seconds, and then also Flame Flare does more damage as well. But as well as if you already have it active, the cast time is reduced by a second as well.
No, actually, so
that makes no sense. Wait a minute.
Yeah. So, well, it's not wrong. So the cast time for Living Flame is normally 1 second.
Right.
What Ravel pointed out is like he was silly and he took the screenshot while he had Living Flame active.
Okay.
So the instant cast is not correct. It's a 1 second cast.
Okay.
Right? So it's a 1 second cast that will be reduced to an instant cast.
That is made an instant cast. Okay.
Yes. The problem is he took the screenshot when that effect was active.
Okay.
So that's why it says instant.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, wait a minute. It's an instant cast reduced by 1 second. So it's like a cast that's actually happening in the past. That's amazing.
Yep. Time traveling ability.
Time traveling.
He just took the picture while he had the flame buddy out.
Nice.
And he so it already had the reduction on it.
Okay.
So it's a 1 second cast that gets reduced to an instant cast if it's out.
But more interesting, the living flame will provoke enemies who attack you, and when you deal fire or lightning elemental damage, your living flame is healed for 35% of the damage done. And this as a provoke effect does not work against Dungeon Lair or raid monsters. But so this living flame essentially becomes a tank for you. And then you can keep the tank alive just by dealing lightning or fire damage.
So if you're like Ellie main, you go in like a cult defense. You drop that guy down, drop like
every 20 seconds. That's pretty dang quick. Yeah.
What it means is instead of all the occult defense things attacking you, they'll attack your flame buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's
it gives elementalists an off tank, or just gives them a straight tank.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how squishy he is. I haven't actually tried that myself yet. But regardless, it's interesting.
It is interesting.
And it's massively different than what we have on live. Massively.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a rather large change people will get to see starting tomorrow if they choose to jump into the open beta weekend. Is they'll get to play around with little flame buddies, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to play around with it more. I played around with it a little bit.
Vommer said, well, it persists either till it dies or until you do something that causes you to abandon it, leaving it behind on some geometry.
Yeah. Or if you just unequip your weapon.
That's what our pets do anyway.
If you unequip your Ellie focus, it'll go away. Because I actually summoned it in Agartha and was like, what? Now what? Like, I can't get it to go away. It's here permanently. What the hell? So yeah, you can just unequip your elemental focus and put it back, and then it'll just disappear.
I say, but that's what our pets do anyway. Whenever somebody like ports away and leaves their pet behind, their pet just dies right next to them.
Yeah, yelps and dies.
with all the noises attached to it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you unequip the focus ability, it cancels the summon. I believe Norvell said even potentially even the, I don't know if it's the passive. It's like if you unequip anything having to do with it, it goes away.
I mean that makes sense though. They don't want abilities transferring through weapon changes, just in general.
Yeah, no, that would be bad.
Right, because then that basically then entices people to actually just keep switching weapons all the time, just so they can have all the passives. So yeah, that is a pretty standard, I would imagine. He said that it was that when it was replacing CB, so I have no clue if that's still going to be valid when the summon is replacing
I'm
CF.
thinking the same thing, Valmer, to be honest. Probably removing the passive wouldn't cancel it if you have the active in the current situation. So originally in closed beta, the passive gave you the pet, I think. Ravel's messaging me.
Oh no.
Oh.
Apparently unequipping the passive dynamically updates the living flame you already have out. There you go. Question answered.
Okay.
So we'll remove the living flame, but it will change his stats. Right? It dynamically affects your already summoned flame.
Mm. Hey Norvell, how you doing? I'm just assuming Norvell saw that.
So let's talk about spiders and mummies.
Who doesn't love spiders?
No, so that's just a tease. Like some of the new stuff coming, like Ankh has spiders and mummies.
Okay.
He said he tried to lurk, but his big mouth ousted him. Yeah. So so some of the new mechanics might have little additional ads that spawn.
Okay.
And do weird things you have to deal with.
Okay.
So that's cool. And also really freaky the first time you experience it. And you're like, what the shit is this and where did it come from?
Part of the new elite mechanics or part of the new nightmare mechanics?
Like I'm personally calling it Nightmare Plus.
Okay.
Like, catch on, but Nightmare Plus.
Like Disney Plus.
No. I was more thinking like New Game Plus.
Okay.
Like, there's already like gaming verbiage for having plus at the end. Needs a cooler name? No, it doesn't.
because as you said, as we said before, that the third tier mechanics, the nightmare now starts at Elite 8, is what is going to be as part of the beta this weekend.
Yeah, I'm just saying Nightmare Plus. If you don't like it, too bad. You just said Uber Nightmare, but in my opinion, that's too long.
That's also just reminds me of just when you have a bad Uber, really. I had an Uber, but the guy just played terrible music the entire time. It was an Uber nightmare.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't
so it's just Nightmare. It's Nightmare plus a little bit extra, okay? Nightmare plus a little bit extra. I was trying to think. Here's the thing. I want to say stuff, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to say some stuff because there's some really cool shit that I think you need to experience.
Or just the surprise. Just be surprised about. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I can say I guess I feel all right saying like shields in Nightmare Plus, like in Hell Eternal.
Okay.
Shields. You're gonna have to pay attention to shields.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Your healer is either going to be needing to via like outputting a shit ton of heals, you're gonna have to stop shooting occluding lenses because they will wreck you. And in fact, I believe the lens have been tweaked so they're not as
punishing
crazy as they were a couple of days ago.
Okay.
But I will say that when we did Hell Eternal Boss 5, which has the 3 that you have to defeat, we had to change the kill order. Because normally on live you leave the kill order is Bic, right? Brutus, Ascarius,
Cassius, yeah.
Right. Cassius summons ads at the end. And not only does Cassius put up a reflex shield, but the ads put up their own reflex shield.
Oh, no.
And given the changes in Nightmare Plus to those particular mechanics, they were so punishing, we actually had to change the kill order to BCI instead of PIC. Because we literally could not deal with that. Also, Eblis was nearly impossible.
I was gonna say that sounds terrible. Like if somebody brings up like an AOE and you hit, like, you know, because you see a whole bunch of mobs rushing at you, you throw up an AOE. But if every single one of them has a reflect shield, that's just
it was
decimates.
Nasty.
Yeah,
nasty. The assault rifle users with incendiary grenade, they're hitting everything at once, and they just immediately died. And I ran in with a sword with hurricane, so I could hit multiple targets at once, and did like one hurricane and nearly died just from that.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop hitting now. Sorry,
my bad. I'm running away. That's fine."
I actually did survive. I was one of the last people alive on one of the tries with the tank. There was like 6 or 7 ads. Oh, I don't know why Ember is gone.
You just be right back.
Okay.
Ember, no.
Well, I figured the rest of it's still going, so that must be okay.
It must be all right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I was alive when the tank was alive, and maybe the healers were still alive, maybe not. I don't recall. But there was like 6 or 7 ads, all with shields and the boss with shields. It was like, this is not good.
Yeah, that is awful.
Is not tenable. And yeah, they killed the tank, and then they came in and ate me as well. But what was really funny was Eblis. Eblis in his center phase was casting shield, like he would have shield for like 20, 30 seconds. I don't remember. It was a long time. And then the shield would go away, and he had about 3 seconds to damage him before he cast shield again. It was so bad. It was so bad. Yeah, PJ was there. 20 seconds. Yeah, 20 seconds shield. Shield goes away. You're like, okay, we can shoot him. And it's like 3 seconds, and the shield comes back up.
Oof.
It was so rough.
As you're just waiting for the shield to go away, everyone's just kind of twiddling their thumbs at that point.
Yeah,
you can't really attack. So all you can do is just.
PJ, was that the fight where? Is that the fight where they got the Phantasmal killer debuff? I think we hit the hard and rage, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if you've. Yeah, he enraged. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Mikey. I'm gonna guess probably not.
Probably not.
I have video of it on my YouTube from back in TSW when we had this crazy healer that was surviving inside of Machine Tyrant, like well after Machine Tyrant enraged.
Oh.
It has he had like 10 flame stacks. He was just healing himself like crazy, running around, like staying alive. And like all of a sudden, like you see this stack on him, and he starts to have like this black stuff coming off of his character. Like, what the hell is this? And there's a buff that's called like Phantasmal Killer, and it starts stacking. And that's basically like you shouldn't be alive now.
Yeah.
And so this buff is going to start dealing like millions of damage to you. Like
that's basically the That's basically the dates, the bad dates.
Yeah.
So something that
Times
will kill you eventually because it has
times like 100,000 or something. Like the amount of damage they output is insane. It literally is like a hard enrage. It's like you're not supposed to have done this. Get out, right? So we did beat Eblis, but the 2 people or whatever that were left alive had Phantasmal Killer stacks on them.
True.
3 people. Like we hit.
I am glad that Ember wasn't here to hear that, because that just would have like broken his heart. Oh wait, Ember's back. Oh,
Hey.
oh, sorry.
That was pretty funny though. It's one of the. It's. I think that's like I like how Nervel is giving me like numbers updates. It's 5% of your max HP. A second per stack, and you gain 1 stack like every 2 seconds, and it stacks up to 100. So it starts to do a lot of damage. And yeah, it's a failsafe built into all counters. I've run into it like twice before. I remember it in TSW from that weird Machine Tyrant, and I did it myself when I was doing something weird in Darkness War. I was like sustain tanking Darkness War boss 6 or something.
Okay.
And the Varangian died. So I had no buff. And I was fighting that guy till the very, very end. And I got an amazing amount of stacks, by the way, of that Phantasmal Killer. I had a lot of stacks. I sustained tanked through so much. And I nearly died, but I managed to kill the DW6 before I died. That was close. Yeah, that's a failsafe you very rarely see. It's just incredibly difficult to get past that because that means you've already hit the normal enrage.
Right. Yeah.
You've already hit the
enrage
normal
that it's
range.
supposed to kill you.
Yeah. Now here's the thing that just kills you no matter what. Which does beg the question: how the hell did I do Polaris Boss 5 E1 in no gear? Because that shit took like an hour. I think that failsafe might be broken.
Maybe it doesn't activate unless certain conditions or certain levels. Maybe, I don't know.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy. That's what it is.
Yeah.
We should be used to that.
Yeah. So from my understanding, that has been tweaked. So that shouldn't be insane, but it is something that E14 Plus will have to deal with, is occluding lens actually being something that hurts you. Your healer will have to heal DPS, or you'll have to stop DPSing, one of the two. Maybe a little of both. Maybe you'll just plink at the shield. I don't really know. But that's something that's and that really affects all of Hell Eternal, honestly. That's I just remembered. I was like, what else is there in Hell Eternal? Oh yeah. Never mind. There's something else fun there too. Yeah.
Well, as you said, we don't have to go into everything.
Yeah, we don't have to go into everything.
Yeah, spoilers.
We don't want to give away too many secrets. Yeah.
I will say, okay, so this is something that's funny because in our Skull sessions where we talked about adding mechanics, and Molov had a lot of ideas for different ones. The one dungeon he didn't have ideas for on the session was Darkness War. He's like, I don't know what the hell to do there. It needs something, but I don't know what you do to Darkness War to give it like an extra like oomph. And then I want to say it was after the session, after we stopped recording, or maybe the next day, we were talking. He said something about like the ads exploding, and then somehow like Molov and Ravel have been like on the same fucking wavelength. Like half the time, it seems like they're just thinking the same shit. Because yeah,
Their minds are linked.
Shit explodes in Darkness War an E14 plus.
Okay.
So it's a nice healer check. The healer's got to heal more than the tank. If you, as the DPS, kill ads, those ads explode. And they shouldn't one-shot you here, unless you kill too many of them exactly at the same time. So, you know how one of the yeah, Nervel said pop ult on boss 6. It's a good time.
Yeah, no more wings.
Yeah, so one of the things that is commonly done on live is on boss 6, you just run in, pop wings on the whole bunch of them, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a good way to kill everybody. Because if you now, we did try this, you can still pull all of them and kind of damage them, kill them in one spot. You can kind of still do like a strat similar to what's on live now. You can pull them all at once. You can start killing them. As long as they don't die at the same time, you're okay. As long as you're killing like 4 or 5, and then the healer can heal in time, like you're all right. But wings basically insta kills all of them. At the same
kill
time.
Everything. Yeah,
super bad because that's all those explosions going off the exact same second, which generally means you're all just annihilated.
I like it. So, I like it though.
That's pretty cool.
Because our wings are supposed to be like sort of a, not like an OS button, but like a helpful utility, I guess, and not to be kind of joined together as a strategy overall, I guess,
or a nuke it from orbit kind of thing.
I mean, I will say they did get a significant buff.
They did, and that could be the reason why they don't necessarily want them used in every situation. To have anti-wing mechanics.
I'm not sure if that was the intent or not, but it certainly works.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty interesting one because like even the first boss in Darkness War has ads that like run in out of nowhere, and then you kill them, and all of a sudden you're like, ow, shit, ow. Was not the intent. 100% coincidental. So yeah, it is one of those things where like you might not notice at first, and then also you're like, why is my HP bar like half? What the hell's going on? And we did have a couple of times where we like died because we smashed too many at the same time. I remember Darkness War boss 5. We had to like really work on I think I brought Blizzard. That really helped. Just slowing the massive ads so that you could then pick them off, as opposed to they all run at you and you try and take them all out and then they just explode and kill you. Polaris has some cool stuff, but I kind of don't want to spoil that one, honestly.
That's fine.
There's some cool shit in Polaris.
Yeah, at least something for everybody to figure out.
Yeah. I think Polaris is the one that would be like, you guys need to try the beta this weekend. Like, grab some high gear and go play around in Polaris like E14 plus, like
Nightmare Plus.
Nightmare Plus. That's right. Official term. Yeah.
You heard it here. Yeah, Nightmare starts at 8. Nightmare Plus at 14.
Yeah, and pros combine weapons individually when you first start out.
But yeah, so a lot of weapons got purges added to them in various places to make sure that every weapon can actually purge.
Every weapon can have a purge.
Yeah, as purges are kind of a thing now.
You're basically making it so that that all DPS can purge.
Yeah, that's the idea. Because it's not, like I said, it's not just like a purge. Like we've had bosses before. Honestly, Polaris, for example, is a good one where like you need a purge. Pole 5 needs a purge.
DPS can has a little a purge as a snack.
Pull 5 is a purge. Pull 2 you need a purge for. Right, because they get like little shield things, and you have to purge that effect off. So it's not like we've not had things before, but very little. Like now there's things that's like, oh, it's going to keep stacking. You have to remove 5 stacks,
Mm-hmm.
and your purge removes like 1 stack. So you need multiple people bringing multiple purges and using them in coordination to achieve your goal, which is really cool. It's really cool. I think Hellraised. I don't really want to. Let's see. I will say that you might see some Dark Agartha stuff in one of the dungeons.
Oh no! What do you mean by it? Like randomized effects? Or...
Not randomized, but you might see some stuff you recognize from.
Recognize just from Dark Agartha.
Some stuff that previously you would have only seen in Dark Agartha, put it that way. Some effects you would have only seen in Dark Agartha before, you'll see in Hell Raised and Hell Eternal.
Also in Hell Eternal. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the Hell dungeons. So wait, we covered. I'm trying to think, did I miss a dungeon? Pull, Hell Raised, the Darkness War, the Ankh, Hell Eternal. That's it, right? Those are the 5. I feel like I'm spacing and forgetting something, but I don't think so.
I think you're fine. Let me just look real quick.
Oh, my game timed out.
Yeah, you ran away.
I disappeared.
Yeah.
Polaris, Hellraised, Darkness War, Ankh, Hellfallen, Facility, Hell Eternal, Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, but it had to be like an elite dungeon.
Right.
So not Facility, not Slaughterhouse, not Hellfallen. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. Definitely lots of tank and or healer checks.
Of course, because part of doing the rebalance entirely has been a healer and tank pass, especially.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly like the main thrust of it. It just kind of it grew wings, for sure.
Well, I think most of it is to bring the healer aspect back into things.
Yeah, it brings the healer aspect back, but also drastically changes the tank one.
It more refines the roles for everyone. It has to instead of like a one size fits all type of thing.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean it's well, and also things like scenarios, like your S&P scenario is going to go to like E17 now, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure, anyways. I tried S&P like once though, and it was when it when it wasn't even supposed to be tryable, so it doesn't really count. But yeah, it's and also a lot of fixes. I can't like undersell the like not just a balance pass, not just the addition of mechanics, but a ton of fixes to existing little things that we've just sort of dealt with for years. We're like, well, that's just how this works. We got this bug, like whatever, right? Tons of stuff like that.
Like as you mentioned, with crystallized flame.
Yeah, that's just that that should go away just because it's not a thing anymore.
Exactly.
It's been completely replaced. So, but honestly, that's a pretty big one. I would think for a lot of people. I'm sure there'll be lots of wailing and gnashing of teeth over the fact that Crystallized Flame and Blaze is gone. But also, hey, Flame Buddy.
But Flame Buddy.
You can't go wrong.
Can't hate on Flame Buddy. That's not cool. Now I need to change my Beastmaster build up. I have to be able to include elementalism to grab.
Somehow get that in there as well.
Yeah. Shadowbound Chaos Focus with the Ellie offhand, maybe. But yeah, like there's so much stuff. It's kind of crazy. It's so much stuff to even like. I don't know what the patch notes, like actual patch notes, are going to look like. I think Nervell has to write like volumes. It's and it's kind of crazy. Dreading is the word. Yeah.
Dreading writing them
because like so I'm just gonna quote you, Nervell. They will find my corpse under my Notepad++ executable. Like the closed beta stuff. Let's see. We've been doing closed beta. Have we been doing closed beta that long? Yeah, since like the 7th.
Yeah.
We've been doing closed beta since like the 7th. And there's just patch notes and then more patch notes and then more patch notes. And like there was a new build like today. And that build I believe is what's going out tomorrow for the open. But like so much stuff has been changed and fixed and adjusted. Blade got fixed. Blade got fixed, which it did need fixing. I said this in the rebalance video. I might have even said this on our stream. Like Blade went up like this. Like it was, whew, and I was like, it's not going to stay there. Something's wrong. There were some math problems that were wrong. Unfortunately, the math got fixed, and then it kind of went down. But it got buffed back up a little bit, so I actually haven't gotten to play with it since the fix to the fix.
Okay.
So I'll be trying that tomorrow. So hopefully it'll be back around, a decent level. But yeah, initially it was broken. Blade got broken up. Like he got broken the other way.
It'd be like it's too good.
Like,
too good.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap! I can be the only DPS in the dungeon, and we can like. I was with a tank and a healer, and we were in E17, and we cleared like the first 3 bosses of Hell Raised with just me as Sword doing DPS. Like I was doing insane amounts. Like this is not right. This feels amazing, but this isn't right. Like I know better, So yeah, it had some problems, and those problems got fixed, which took its damage like down, and now it's like, Blade is kind of not fun now. It went too far down, so it got buffed back up. So we'll see. Have to see how it plays, but I'm excited to check that out tomorrow.
So right, as we said, this is a new open beta weekend. It's starting tomorrow, August 21st, and August 21st. I can't speak tonight, and it ends morning of Monday, August 24th. So, yeah, if you are so inclined, go ahead and jump in, and as it says, test out all the new things. Because even if you were in the betas before, it's now even much different from that.
new stuff. And like I said, no one's experienced Nightmare Plus mechanics before, other than the closed beta testers, obviously. But most people have not experienced Nightmare Plus mechanics ever.
Mm-hmm.
It should be really interesting to try. Speaking of Blade, Soothing Spring now cleanses your group, not just you. That's something that's coming. I think Ellie got a bunch of changes. Other than just the fact that Flame got turned into a pet, which is pretty major. Elemental got a bunch of changes. So
no, you were saying that it's not static. It's not just staying in one place. It will follow you around.
Like runs around. Yeah, he was following around Garza, like all over the place.
Okay.
So you summon him in a spot, but then he moves.
Interesting. Because even from the thing that you shared us, that didn't specify that. It just basically said that you summon it in one place, cast the ability.
Yeah, so if you cast it again, it will move to wherever you pointed the cast.
Right.
Which lets you manually reposition it. But if you don't, it's just going to attack things that attack you.
Okay. So it will run around.
Yeah, it moves around. It's a funny little dude. Farmer said, "We'll talk about elementals, but unlike you, I don't have an okay to do so." Yeah. So yeah, and also I don't want to. This is the thing where like I want to talk about stuff, and then that's kind of the whole point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't want to give away everything.
No. That takes the fun out of it.
I want people to go check it out and have fun with it, but definitely Ellie has had a buff. Like damage wise, it's had a buff, and mechanically, a lot of stuff has been adjusted to help it out.
That's cool. Because actually, back in Secret World, Ellie was like my main. Like I loved elementalism, but when I picked up Secret World Legends, I just wanted to try something different, so I just picked up shotgun pistol. And but I'd love to try elementalism again.
Yeah,
this is making me excited to do it.
You should hop on this weekend just to check it out. Like it's got a lot of tweaks to it. Well, I think even some tweaks to like how the overheat mechanic works, things like that. So it's not small, not small tweaks.
All the cool kids are doing it. I'm not even remotely cool. Don't worry.
Yeah,
me too.
But yeah, so I can't even imagine what. Like I'm actually kind of looking forward to reading the patch notes when Nervell finishes the great American novel. That is,
well, who's going to finish? Either him or G.R.R. Martin.
Then we'll never see the patch. Or we'll see the patch and get the patch notes like 3 years later.
It better start with, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Right.
It was the blurst of times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's so many changes. And also I think something that I think Nervell has to deal with that we don't, is when we see multiple builds go by, like he's got to make the patch notes for tomorrow, right? So that has to be sort of condensed because you only want the most recent change, right? If he did something in build 1 this week and it got changed in build 3, you only really need the build 3 note. Unless it's a change of the build 1 note, then you kind of need to combine those 2 notes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then there's going to be people out there. It's like, where's the other one? Where's the other?
It's got to suck.
I'm going to give him a pass if anything is missing. We don't necessarily.
I think there was actually a missing note this morning. There is.
If anything's missing, we're not going to put you up on a. We're not going to crucify you.
I have a Nervell quote for you.
Oh.
It was the epicest of deeps. It was the laggiest of healers. The epicest of deeps.
The epicest of deeps.
And the laggiest of healers. That feels like it belongs on a shirt.
Just take any start to any book, any famous book. Let's do it. Call me Ishmael.
You're a male-ish.
Call me.
You're male-ish.
XXX. Ishmael Weed 420 XXX. I don't know.
That's the Twitch name. Yeah. So there's so many notes that are like predicated on like the notes that came before, and now he's got to make release notes. Like I'm actually really looking forward personally to reading those though, because that should be like a sort of Bible of changes. You're like, oh, okay, this is all the things. So it's worth it, Nerval. That's what I'm trying to say.
An epic for the ages.
It. It's worth it because I'll read it. I'm
You'll
sure
have at least one reader.
But yeah, super excited, and it feels like it's getting pretty close.
Okay.
It took him a full day to compile the notes for the first beta. A full day. I does not surprise me in the least. I remember like the notes for the first beta were massive.
Oh yeah, there's pages.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be something similar. Maybe not quite as long, but similar because just so much has changed since or been adjusted since the last one. It does. I will say it feels like it's getting close.
Okay.
Like it feels. I wouldn't have been surprised if it launched without new mechanics in E17, right? Like the rebalance goal.
I was gonna say, didn't you say kind of last show that we had? You said that it kind of felt like it was good on its own. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty well. It's like the rebalance part itself was fairly dialed in. Of course, now we have new mechanics.
Of course, throw it out the window.
And made some changes to Ellie, made some changes to Blade, made some changes to every weapon for purges for the new mechanics. Like, so yeah, lots of stuff tweaked. But I feel like even from the last time, I think like the scaling is basically on point, right? I think the scaling and the healer tank balance is there. And I think it's probably been there, honestly, for a little bit. There's been some minor changes, I think, on that, but not super big. It seemed mostly like minor tweaks. Minor tweaks to some formulas here or there or whatever, but it's been it definitely feels like it should be like in the home stretch.
Okay.
Which is cool.
Well, I'm not giving it any date. I'm not gonna.
I don't have a date idea.
No,
although I will say, like if Nerval is still watching, if you can make it happen right before September, so that Stepan doesn't tell me I told you so, that would be great.
So sometimes next week.
Like even if it's the 31st, of August.
If you can help him win,
about like, oh,
that's what matters.
I'll see you guys in September when the patch comes out, and I was like, it won't be September, and like now it's like August 20th. And I was like, Shit. He said October 1st. Got it. I should have given away a way to troll me. Damn it. I messed up. No, now I've given him the perfect way to troll me. He's like, oh, I can just delay it, and then Jimmy gets shit. Perfect.
Just the second over, be like, oh, we're planning on releasing on this day, but now we can't because we just can't. You're going to murder Nervell with the rush. Well, he already said that we'll find his corpse under the pile of Notepad plus notes.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm not going to murder Nervell with the rush. I'm just saying, like, it does feel like we have an open beta this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it goes well, and then there's not like,
it's only the 3rd too. I mean,
devastating bugs. Hey, Mangus Beard. I hopefully there's no like devastating bug that the closed beta team has missed. I will say that one we discovered on stream was pretty fun to go show Nervell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
the one that caused the lag like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty entertaining.
Oh no, yeah, that was out in the
Jack instance.
Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
All
that was pretty nuts. Because I was like, okay, come in here. Like I grabbed
we'll get there eventually.
There, and I was like, watch this.
And it was just us.
Yeah. I even could do it solo. It didn't matter. Like it just wrecks the frame rate. I forget exactly what was going on there. It was something like a lot of calls to the server. It just like flooded the server with like requests or updates or something. It was nuts.
I'm trying to think, and that was one of the new.
That was one of the new tank signature abilities.
The new signature abilities too, right?
Yeah. I want to say it was the hammer one. Yeah, that was a fun one. And that's a really bizarre one. Like it only happened in Jack. And only if you use the and like it didn't happen to any of the other tank signature abilities. So you had to be on the hammer signature. So
what am I doing? I'm going through the thing that I'm like, which one is the hammer signature ability? Right, I'm not going to find it now.
No,
because we're on live.
We're on live, yeah.
Oh,
I was searching for it. Yeah,
it replaces thick skin. I remember that.
Mm.
I'm sure I have video of it somewhere. Let's see. Sonic Blast is the shotgun one.
You can just watch our last show.
Blazing Fury.
Okay.
Blazing Fury. Yeah, Blazing Fury is the one that like wrecked the server. That was in the Jack instance specifically. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, hopefully, cross fingers, cross toes. Yeah, like Vomer said, it gave you HP, and then EFB was trying to normalize your HP, and it screamed. I think it was because it tried to do it like so frequently, like it just went like the number of times it tried to do it was insane or something like that. But yeah,
I like it. So just as a sort of recap of the show, we talked about the directive from the White House about Tencent, but hopefully we shouldn't see anything relating to any of the games aspect of Tencent, but who knows? They have until September 20th to figure that out. Jimmy's new show, we talked about that, Skull Sessions. So check that out on YouTube, and it's on your own YouTube channel, Jimmy the Rabbit.
Yeah.
And of course, as we were talking about the open beta weekend going on this weekend. But is that all? Are we good?
I mean,
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
Oh yeah, and Kylani asked. She said that the new layout. She really likes the new layout.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I would say that's Ember. We're using a new program called StreamYard.
Yeah, it's all cloud-based streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's really nice from our end because we can see each other and the stream and the comments like all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally I have that, various screens.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I still have various screens, but yeah.
You can move
I mean, I have various screens, and we can do this.
We can show other screens easily enough. We're all the same size simultaneously. Oh yeah. Where is it? It's around here somewhere.
There might have been something wrong with that. I don't know.
That was very wrong.
Yeah, don't clip that.
Don't gift that. Whatever you do. But anyway, agents. This has been the 0 Point Report, strain 26-10C. You can catch us recording live every other Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on the 0 Point Report Twitch channel, where you can also join us and chat with us while we do the show live, or download our show wherever podcasts are found so you can listen to us on the go. You can get in touch with us by engaging with us on Twitter at 0 Point Report, emailing us at the 0pointreport@gmail.com, checking out previous shows on our YouTube channel, and joining us on our Discord server, both named the 0 Point Report. So from all of us here at the 0 Point Report, we want to thank you for tuning in and wish you all the best from the secret world. Have a great night. Have a fun open beta weekend. And see you next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.